Welcome to another live episode of Halftime Adjustments. You know who it is. It's G with J. Lou.
Tighten up, baby.
ERL, man. Tighten up. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's not going on?
It's got to be good. It's got to be better than that. Come on in, sit down, and enjoy the show with us. Get your questions, your comments in as we roll into week 15. Titans coming off a 20-0 shutout over the Jaguars, improving to 9-4, while sporting a suffocating defense and, to say the least, an anemic offense. I'll say it that way for now. You know, after the Colts last night, they beat the Pats 27-17. So the Titans had a chance to reclaim number one seed, right? In the AFC, if they could go into Heinz Field and pull off a tough victory, because we knew it was going to be tough regardless of the record of the Steelers, because they are the Steelers, right? 6-1. They had a lot on the line coming into this game as well if they wanted to stay in the playoff contentions. The Titans had to figure out a way how to stop turning the ball over. Somebody's got some feedback. Excuse me.
That was me.
Okay. 5 against the Texans, 4 against the Pats, which will get you beat no matter who you play. Results: Pittsburgh 19, Titans 13. Another 4 turnovers. That's 13 for the last 4 games if you keep in count. And another 4 sacks. First reactions. J. Lou, hit me up, man. First reactions.
Yeah, my first reaction is we're wasting a good defense. a Super Bowl defense. You like to see, I think we all said that we started after the bye week, we saw the defensive line getting their groove back, and then you add Bud back to them today, and he don't look like he missed a step in the short term he played. And same with Cunningham. I thought Cunningham played pretty well. Cunningham came in and took the starting role. Let's just point that out. And he looked like he knew the playbook. I mean, you didn't see nothing that showed seeing him out of position or whatnot. So I thought the defense did its job. I mean, there was a crazy stat that after every sudden change of possession, which was 4 turnovers, as you mentioned in the opening, Pittsburgh only had to drive 56 yards to get 4 field goals. So that should tell you something right there. I believe this is the second game in about 4 weeks that we probably doubled the time of possession, ran the ball effectively well, and still came up with the L. Right. G-Wit has been preaching it for, I'm going to say, about 5 weeks now.
It's been about 5 weeks. That's right.
That this offensive coordinator has no creativity. G-Wit, I'm a believer in that now, G-Wit. I mean, I was, but I'm going to sing it with you. I'm watching, as we were talking about watching Green Bay today. Everybody in the league know you're going to double Devontae Adams, yet somehow he has a dozen targets. Before Julio's hamstring decided to jump back out of his body again today.
How many? Tell him.
One
target.
We gave my man one target. One. Like, I mean, that in itself goes back to G-Wit's statements he's made about this offensive coordinator. Not like, to me, it looks like I think I heard something good one of the post games today that the Titans seem like they're just calling plays that are in the playbook no matter the personnel. Right. They're not running plays to scheme open their guys.
That is great.
I mean, and you run a 1 yard short route on a 4th down play. I mean, first of all, the refs, I don't know what they were spotting at the very beginning.
Oh my God.
They were being very generous.
They've been very generous, but I mean,
and I was like, when I saw it, I like spike the ball.
Yes,
spike it real quick.
But I mean, the offensive play calling, I believe this is 3 out of the 4 games, and I'm sure G-Wit's going to come with the stat, but I'm sure this is 3 out of 4 games that we've only scored 13 points.
That's right.
As an offense. So, they've got to figure out something quick and in a hurry on offense. I mean, I think it's one thing about Vrabel's team is they haven't been one to point the fingers. But this is the type of game that starts getting some rumblings in different position groups in the offensive defensive room, because I mean, this is your defense really gave you a chance until 27 seconds left, and you turned the ball over 4 times, yet you still had an opportunity to win the game, and you couldn't do nothing. I mean, I look at I don't know how many 19 play drives ended a field goal. 19 played 10-minute drives ended a field goal. So you had 2 drives that sputtered inside the 20-yard line. So again, if we can't put up points, I felt like we went away from the run. If Pittsburgh could not stop the run, I would feel better about this loss today on that 4th down play had it even been a run call and we got stopped. Because I think a run call was a better opportunity for us than a 5-yard pass, and then we needed 6. So, overall defense, they showed up. Offense, yeah, they're gonna keep us at home in the playoffs. That's my first reaction.
G Witt, lay it down. G Witt, lay it down.
Well, basically, J. Lou pretty much covered it all. I'm just gonna put it plain like this. Basically, what we have is a top 5 defense. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anytime you turn the ball over 4 times in your own territory and all they get are field goals, I'm sorry, your defense is top notch. They couldn't run the ball on us. Ben Roethlisberger was having a hard time throwing the ball on us. I agree with you on some of it, J. Lou. The referees on some of the calls, I'm looking at them like, what the heck did y'all see? You know, it just didn't make any sense. I found out this past week why the offense is the way the offense is. I found out, you know, Todd Downing, we said he has no imagination. He has no creativity. Todd Downing got his start in the league as an analytics personnel. Analytics. Analytics only works in really one or 2 areas. That's fantasy football and Madden. Other than that, analytics are just numbers. That's why Todd Downing has no feel for the game. Yeah. I mean, first of all, you move the ball, like you said, J. Lou, 10 minutes, 19 plays, you get 1st and goal from the 5, and your first play is a pass play. Now, granted, Julio should have won it. He didn't win the route. But the bottom line is you ran the ball all the way down the field, and you don't run when you're that close and the way you're running the ball. I mean,
Foreman and shotgun.
Foreman had a great game.
He did.
Yes.
He had a great game. Even came in on that 4th and 1 with a bum ankle and made it. So that just lets you know how good we were running the ball. And still, in your mindset, you 1st and goal from the 5. Well, analytics said we throw the ball. No. The momentum of the game was you running the ball. And that's the reason why our offense is the way it is. That's the reason why Julio Jones only had 1 target, and that was on that 1 pass play. Now, granted, that first play, he should have been targeted. Even Tannehill said it, but he had no time to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, true.
Well, I take a lot back. If Aaron Rodgers had been in that play,
the
ball would have been out of there.
Yeah.
The ball would have been, he was like, I'm going to put it out there in a way to where you got to run and get up under it, because he had the man beat. But Tannehill, again, this is somebody who really, even though he's a decent quarterback, he's not that type of quarterback that's really going to throw a lot of people open. He just is. You know, he can drive the ball and everything, but he's not really that type of quarterback that's going to throw people open where Aaron Rodgers will be, Tom Brady will be, Drew Brees will be, but Ryan Tannehill is just not. And we know that. I'm not knocking him. That's who we got. We've always known that. But really, those are the only 2 times. And then the fact that Julio hurt his hamstring again, having to make a tackle for something that a tight end just gives the ball away. You know, let's just call it what it is, man. This right now, really the only thing that's probably going to make this team get any better right now, as far as these turnovers are concerned, somebody's going to get cut. Somebody's going to have to get cut, because these turnovers are killing you. If we don't turn the ball over, we win the game. Because the bottom line was Pittsburgh couldn't stop the offense really. And Pittsburgh offense couldn't move against our defense. Let's just be real about it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from Pittsburgh. They won the game. They got the 4 turnovers. They won the game. But the bottom line is, really, they couldn't move against our defense. They really couldn't. I mean, how many rushing yards did Harris have?
18.
18.
On 10 carries.
Yeah.
On 10
carries. On 12 carries. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They couldn't run the ball. Ben was having a hard time throwing the ball. A couple of times he threw the ball up. I mean, defenders were right there with the guy. So I had no problem with Sky, and I thought he played a great game cover-wise. Matter of fact, to me, he was a lot better than Jack Rabbit would have been. You know, no ifs, ands, or buts. The one pass that Ben Roethlisberger threw in the end zone. This is how I like way Sky played. The ball was thrown his way. He looked inside first, looked back. Then he flipped around and looked outside to try to find the ball. I'm like, okay, even if he had caught the ball, I wasn't going to knock him for that. At least he was looking for it, whereas, you know, Jackrabbit wouldn't. They're going to have to make some cuts, man. That's just the bottom line. If you want to get this turnover problem resolved, you're going to have to cut somebody. And really, for what he's been giving you all season, First is a prime candidate. He's a prime candidate. And we got to figure out what's going on with Golden Tate, because if he's that bad out of shape that he can't even get on the field, that's a problem, man. That means he was sitting around just doing nothing but sitting on the couch, because I can't figure out why he's not there. I know Rob Moore said, you know, you got to be in shape and everything. You play trying to get him in shape, but he's in that bad of shape. Why is he still on the practice squad? You know, I got to question Robinson on that one, because it's not making any sense to me. But overall, really, this offense is killing the defense. The offense is flat out killing the defense. That's just the bottom line. This offense is horrendous, and Todd Downing is part of it. Turnovers are a big part of it, but Todd Downing is a huge part of it. His lack of creativity in calling an offense is horrendous. He has absolutely no feel for the game. And I found out this week the reason why. He's an analytics guy. And analytics only works in fantasy football and Madden, period. I don't care what anybody says.
So, you know, my question is, after this game, is why are we still talking about this offense this way? It don't make any sense. So somebody's not being held accountable to me. You know, Vrabel is not a guy to throw somebody on the bus, but man, something has got to be done. And surely they got to be discussing this behind closed doors, right? Surely,
you know they are.
Surely, but there's no results, there's no change, and so I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
So
somebody got to get that.
Amy's gonna have to put her foot down and say, "Hey, we got too much talent on this team to waste on this season." You know, you're not guaranteed to get back to this spot again.
No.
So now you know you got a, like you said, a top 5 defense that, you know, for as many times they got put with their backs against the wall in the red zone, played outstanding. You know, let's just say it that way, because they played outstanding. The whole people,
man, come on, now, you turn
and
the ball
not
over,
scored touchdowns. I mean, that's
three
outstanding.
field goals? You only gave up one touchdown? Come on.
And again, J. Lou, I agree with you. Why is Julio only getting the target one time before he got hurt? And you know, it's just frustrating to watch this team. 318 yards of offense for this offense, 201 rushing. And so you put up 200 yards rushing. That's another.
Again,
we talked about this against the Patriots, right? Mm-hmm. You win the game. You rush for 200 yards in a football game. You win the game. But
we have got to be the only team.
Just done it twice in a season.
Twice in the season and lost.
So
I'm sorry, Eddie. I'm sorry.
That's all right. What was that? Okay, so 117 yards passing. You know, that's after the sacks are accounted for. I think Tannehill had 153 total for his passing. 2-1 in the time possession for the Titans. So 22 first downs, 8 of 18 on third down. And look, and check this stat out, fellas. Mika Fitzpatrick had 14 tackles. So what is that telling you? He's doing a lot of tackling in the secondary.
Because we were running that.
We were running the ball.
That's right. And so, you know, it's just mind blowing that here we are, week 15, you know, after, you know, we ran through the gauntlet. Now, granted, it doesn't matter if Derrick Henry's there or not. I'm not saying it at this point, because we still could have won the game without him. We proved these last few weeks that we can run the football with what we got right now until he gets back. But we can't even score. We can't even score. It just, my mind's just blown, man.
I think part of that goes back to what G-Wit's been saying. When we get inside the 20, let's open the playbook and let's just randomly pick a play that we think might work, because there's no creativity in the red zone. And I think that's shocking that, you know, I heard Tony Romo mention it. The Titans still have the best touchdown ratio in the red zone.
Still,
and I don't know how, because
in the league,
down there, in the league.
I'm telling you, man, it's on the goal to go, and the bottom line is 9 times out of 10 we generally run the ball in.
Yes.
See, this is the problem I got, because really Todd Downing he cannot stand not throwing the ball when you're a goal to go. He can't do it. Analytics say throw the ball one time at least on first down or whatever. But the feel of the game is the bottom line is that you're able to run the ball. So why throw when you can run?
Why? So
especially if you first and goal from the 5. Now, let's just be real about it. If Derrick Henry's in the game, we're probably running the ball the first 2 times.
Yes.
Why? Why are they going in the shotgun? I don't know. I'm over. I guess I'm over it now. But Foreman, 22 carries, 108 yards. Westbrook and Keenan, 4 for 32. And, I could have really just choked first because, wow, can't hold on to the ball. You can't block.
Can't block.
He checks on the route, and I can't remember who the linebacker was. I think it was TJ Watt. He check blocks. He checks the blitz. He chips off of Watt and goes down the route and don't even touch him.
Yeah, no,
and he killed.
And his chip actually cost. I can't even put that one on Quisenberry because he messed up Quisenberry on that.
Yep, he did. He did. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. It really, right now, we'll be lucky to be a wild card team with the way this offense.
The way it's looking right now,
we'll be lucky to be a wild card team because if we make that, because right now with Todd Downing calling this offense. And with the way that they're using people, I mean, right now Julio's not playing Thursday. You already know that,
right?
You're hoping AJ Brown is playing. You're hoping.
You hope Golden Tate plays,
and hoping Golden Tate finally gets in the game. But right now, again, Westbrook and even though I'm ticked off at him for running a 4-yard route on a 6-yard 4th down, dude. I mean, but. Again, that means you're not teaching him how to drive people off the ball because you got to drive them off the ball. You want to drive and make them think you're going to the end zone and then cut the route off.
Hence basically why. Go ahead.
He just ran a 3-yard and then he cut in. I'm like, dude, come on now.
Hence another reason why this offense is anemic because we got 3rd, 4th, and 5th receivers playing, and they don't know. They, for whatever reason, don't know you're supposed to run past the sticks on the first down.
Yeah,
to get the first.
I can't figure it out. This is like what, the 3rd or 4th game that's happened?
Yes.
You need a 4th down and they run short. I mean, Firsker did it one time. I mean, come on now. But, Firster's a backup for a reason. And this year you're seeing it. So
yeah,
bottom line is J. Rob is looking at he's looking at some things this year that. Really, he's probably thinking in his mind, I probably should have tried to at least keep Jonnu Smith, if nobody else. He could let Corey Davis go, but at least Jonnu Smith, I should have kept him. I'm sure he's thinking about that and regretting that decision. But really, right now, we're stuck in the mud. And I can't believe there's not another tight end out there that you can go get that can take Firster's place. I just have a hard time believing that.
You got one in the meantime in Michael Pruitt. They just not playing him enough.
They ain't playing him.
But you're not playing him enough.
Why not? He can catch. He can definitely block.
Yep.
So we've seen both of those things this season.
But there's something going on with this team offensively.
Yeah,
that's really just I mean, think about it. And I'm gonna go back to even the games against the Rams and against the Saints. When you go back and look at this thing, man. Really, and the Colts as well. Really, when you stop and look at that, defense really scored at least 14 points in both of those games because they gave you turnovers on short fields.
Mm-hmm. But they still got in the end zone on offense.
They got in the end zone.
So yeah, so there's the difference.
But here's the thing about it. I mean, you think about it. Against the Rams, you had a pick 6. Against the Colts, you had a pick 6. And then against the Rams and the Colts, defense got a turnover deep in their own territory, so you were able to score quickly. All right, so I'm giving 14 points to the defense right then and there. But the offense really has been anemic since Derrick Henry's been out, and Todd Downing really doesn't know what to do. He really didn't know what to do when Derrick Henry was in there. Let's be real about it.
I mean, it's been week 1.
When you got a running back who hasn't played since week 8, and he's still like what? Number 4 in rushing yards, but he's like number 2 in carries.
Yeah.
That just lets you know really. And unfortunately for us, and I will say this, these fans around here, some of them, they really don't understand NFL football. If your running back has been down since week 8 and he's still number 2 in carries, That's not a good thing to brag about. That's really not. That means your offense was so bad that he had to carry the ball the whole time, and it was really just horrible. That's horrible. I'm sorry. That's too many carries. Bottom line, it's way too many carries. So the bottom line is right now, Todd Downing, I'm going to say really, Vrabel's got to look at this guy and say, it's too late to do anything now. I mean, unless you just do something desperate, unless you think you got somebody else on the team that can call plays better, it's too late to really fire him or let him go, but he can't come back next year. He really can't.
Well, so if they plan on making the playoffs, they got to do something. I mean, fire Rob Moore, give him a chance. Give Cruz a chance.
Yes. If you got to have confidence in somebody on that staff that can call plays.
Man,
and
surely there's somebody that can call better plays than him.
And I don't think it's a matter of really, calling the plays because you ain't got to change the scheme. But to your point, just have a feel of the game. Right. We stopped running the ball when you were running it down Pittsburgh throat. Like they did not want to tackle, and we just stopped running the ball.
I mean, come on now. You had some players where they stopped you, and most of those was because the running backs took the wrong. They read the hole wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The bottom line is, when you're running the ball like that, you don't stop running. You keep running. You be consistent with it. I mean, think about it. You get the ball with 7 minutes left to go, and you're running the ball down the throat. I mean, you throw the easy passes, you throw the screens or whatever to get them out there, or you let Tannehill take a bootleg and run, a read option, RPO. Those work. You do those type of things, man. But, so what if Tannehill only throws the ball one time on a route? We won playoff games with him only throwing the ball 11 times in 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I mean, this is common sense football right now. And right now, Todd Downing is not using common sense. He's an analytics guy, and he has no feel for the game. Again, analytics only work in Madden and fantasy, period.
Let's get a few comments in, fellas. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Will says he thinks it's time to start looking at Tannehill, whether we need to start focusing on drafting a franchise QB. Dion says Foreman's physical enough to pound the rock on the goal line. Can't disagree with you on that one. Oh, yeah, Will calls it out, man. Tannehill is looking at the fumble on the ground like Cam Newton did in the Super Bowl as the ball was rolled around, didn't even go after of it, which was really, telling on his part. Dion also says that probably the best thing that could happen was Derrick Henry getting hurt, because he probably been worn down by now, and because he would have had like 700 carries.
That's true.
So
that's true.
But anyway, so let's talk about the defense, fellas. I'm get off that offense.
The good side of the ball.
It's really a downing thing. So 168 yards total offense against the Steelers. So, we talked about the weapons they had: Deontay Johnson, Claypool, Najee Harris, and so 133 yards of passing for Big Ben, 35 yards rushing as a team, and 10 of that came off a jet sweep to Deontay Johnson. So, I mean, Zach Cunningham, he looks the part. You mentioned that J. Lou, he came in, he really fit in, and he actually, like you said, he started the football game.
I mean, come on,
man. And Bud being back helped out. Here's my only thing with the defense today. I think at times we played a little bit too deep. And then here we go. So Bowen, I'm gonna give Bowen some credit for his defense because of how they're playing, but you can't be a one-trick pony, man. Everybody's expecting that twist up front, that game. They're waiting. They're picking it up now. So guess what? You got to start doing something else, right? You got to start blitzing some other guys, mixing up the stunts, because now everybody's expecting, they got all three of them lined up on one side. One's going to come back to the middle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So come on, man. So tell me about this defense, J. Lou. What we already have, what we haven't mentioned just yet.
Yeah, man. Like I said, he mentioned it early. I think Jack Rabbit has lost his starting position when he comes back. Because Kareem is he's really doing good, man. I mean, he's playing well out there. You like to see I thought Rashaan Evans played good again. It was good to see yet again for basically the second week in a row, Danico be back in his natural position. And getting the push up the middle. And then Big Jeff made his normal run a 300-pound man over highlight.
But please, J. Lou. So J. Lou, let me. I'm sorry for buttoning. I'm sorry. I apologize. So help me on this one, because I was very heated. So you got a 315-pound defensive lineman going against two offensive linemen. Okay, you got to sit on the guard.
Yeah.
He's on the double team block.
Yeah.
He gets pushed from behind,
yeah.
makes him lunge, not even lunge. He falls forward into the quarterback's legs, and they call roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Now, help me.
I'm lost for word.
That's a huge play.
I think that's a
that was very
huge. Roethlisberger got that call on his name alone, because I don't know how you expect a 315-pound man to fly in the air and not land like that.
That's a turnover.
That's a turnover. And I mean, he was whooping that offensive line today. So the defense, I thought the defense played well at all levels. Now, again, something that we've got to shore up, and you saw it happen against the Patriots. And again, today, you talked about playing too deep. You know that Ben Roethlisberger ain't throwing the ball longer than 5 yards.
No, he can't.
Why are you playing? He can't. Why are you playing 7 to 8 yards back?
Right.
And run up to make the tackles. Again, I thought tackling was much better. And they were to see. They were swarming. There was one play in particular.
Yes.
I want to say it was on a screenplay where Jeffrey Simmons knocked the guy out of bounds. And he rushed on the play and then
Najee Harris. Najee Harris on the swing pass.
He's lit now. He's Najee Harris up.
Yep.
So, I mean, you like to see that. I think the defense, talked about it last week. The bye week really helped them. The vacation helped them out a lot, and they come back and they're flying around the ball on all levels. Now I think the one thing that they would tell you, they would probably be a little bit ticked off on themselves, is they've got to find a way to force turnovers.
Force turnovers.
Granted, it wasn't on the field a lot to force them, but when you own that, you've got to force the turnovers. And again, I think the turnovers that we got to look for them to force going to become the forced fumbles. To your point, every team knows that pass rush is deadly. So every quarterback's throwing the ball 3 yards, 4 or 5 yards. So you're not getting a chance to get the interceptions like that. So we've got to come up and hit the fumbles. And I think it's going to get there, but we're going to have to score on defense, and defense is going to have to keep putting us in good field position. But overall, like I said, I think the defense made major stride. This defense won a game giving up one touchdown. I mean, when you just think about that, they lost a game giving up one touchdown. Any other time, you're supposed to win that. So it's good to see that side of the ball getting healthy. I think, with this being Bud's first game back, he played more snaps than I probably thought he would have played. And it looked like we came out of the game healthy. So you only see that side and getting better. Because again, we got to remember, we still don't have David Long in this rotation. You still got Pop-Tart out. Murchison didn't play today. So it's
Naquan.
Naquan.
You give Naquan some credit. Give Naquan some credit, man.
Naquan is playing.
He's balling.
He is balling.
But think about it. Here's the thing about it. And you guys know it as well as I do. When everybody on the defense is balling out, you're going to ball out that much more.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Because you don't want to be the weak spot. You don't want to be
the weak spot. You're going to ball out more. And what you see from Naquan is exactly that. With the way Danico and the way that Jeff are playing right now, and the way Pop-Tart was playing before he got hurt, when I get in the game, I can eat.
Yes.
I can play. And that's what he's doing. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be honest with you, man. When I looked at this defense, man, I was concerned. I was concerned coming into this game because I'm looking at this thing like their 3 receivers, Claypool, Washington, and Johnson, have been playing pretty good over the season, even with the short passing game and with the long passing game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Sky, like I said, playing corner, he may have taken Jack Rabbit's job, because when you're playing like that, the pass interference call they got on him, that was bogus, man.
Yeah. Even Tony Romo was like,
that was. You're looking at their hand fighting. He turned to look for the ball before the ball got there. So you can't call pass interference on that. He didn't run into the man, and he gonna throw a flag. I'm like, come on, dude, really? Kudos to Kevin Byard. When I forgot who it was, jumped off sides, and they had a free play.
Oh, he wouldn't picked it.
He went.
Yes.
I'm like, that's exactly what you do. You don't give them anything.
Right.
He went. I was like, okay, smart play right there. Give the defense their props. When you getting the ball turned over in your own territory and you only give up 1 touchdown, and that's on bogus penalties. I agree with you on the penalty on Jeff. Even though he knew it, I was like, come on, man.
Yeah,
that's football.
I mean, the worst bogus one was against Fulton.
Oh, yeah.
Fulton only got that penalty because he knocked that tight end out on a clean hit.
So that's I was gonna bring up. Kwanye was asking. He said, "How do we feel about that penalty that knocked out Furmouth?"
That's a terrible call, man. That's terrible.
I mean, he went low. He went low.
He didn't go helmet to helmet.
No, he went with his
shoulder.
That's right.
Because the tight end ducked his head.
He ducked his head. That
was just and when they threw the flag, I told my wife then, I said, they're gonna call him for targeting. I already know what they're getting ready to do. They're gonna call him for targeting because he hit him in the head and hit him with the crown of the helmet. But what do you want him to do? He's going low.
Again, it was a late flag.
If you
go back and it was the optics of him being knocked out, I think, is the only reason that flag came out.
And then the PI they called on him
was horrible as well.
Was horrible, and it was a recall because they knew they called the other one late. That was bogus then. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this defense, and I'm like, man, we have got something going on here, and we got a pathetic offense going with. It's the flip side of what we had last year.
Very much so.
What we had last year.
That's right.
And I'm like, dude, really? We as Titans fans cannot win. We can't win. We're either gonna have a great offense and a suspect defense, or we're gonna have a great defense and I'm trying to keep my language clean, a jacked up offense. I'm serious because it's just so bad these days, man. It's really, and as an old school NFL fan, you hate seeing this. You really hate. I hate seeing our defense get wasted with the performance they gave today. I mean, come on now. You held Pittsburgh running the ball.
Yeah, to 18 yards.
30-something yards.
30 yards,
like you said, Eddie, the biggest game they had came on a jet sweep.
Mm-hmm.
And we still stopped. And we should have gone for more yards, but they came through. You got DBs. When the ball is going outside, they're sweeping it to the outside. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're making sure the guy does not have a cutback lane to the inside. They're pinning their block like
containment.
I'm not giving up the inside.
Contain.
You see them. Najee Harris is getting going out to a tall sweep, going out to the side. He's making one guy miss. He's making another guy miss, and there's three more guys he still got to get them to miss. Mm-hmm. That's classic football. That is great defensive football, and you got an offense that can't do anything with the ball.
And
Mike Vrabel is going to have to make some changes because, like I said, you got to cut somebody with these fumbles because it doesn't make any sense. And to me, first is the prime candidate because he's really not giving you anything offensively whatsoever. You already know he can't block. He ain't getting open on pass plays at all. And when he does get open, he's making mistakes. He's either doing drops, he's running a route short, or he's fumbling the ball. He caught the ball after the fumble, but he only had one catch. He's not giving you anything offensively. This defense is playing lights out. And with Bud Dupree coming back, did you see the sack he got in the second half?
Yep.
He shot out of the cannon, wasted no time. Here's the thing you like. They're coming in, blowing up the run, getting to the quarterback.
Yes.
That's what you like. I'm sorry. You got to love it with this defense the way they're playing. And Eddie, I know you do, especially with you being a defensive guy. You got to love it. And that defensive line is playing, like Tony Romo was saying all day, they only come with four. But you just don't know where the fourth man is coming from. You don't really know. It's sometimes it's a cornerback, sometimes it's a DB, sometimes it's a linebacker. You just don't know. But, man, this is beautiful defense. Horrible offense. It's just killing me right now. And you can't really talk about how good the defense is until you talk about 19 points you gave up off of 4 turnovers. 19 points. And your offense can't score 21. They can't score 3 touchdowns.
Can't even score in the second half.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Blank in the second half.
Move the ball from 20 to 20 and can't get any further than that. And Tannehill taking dumb sacks. He's taking dumb sacks. I'm going to call that like I see it. He's taking dumb sacks because some of those sacks he didn't have to take. I'm like, dude, get rid of the ball. You know you don't have that much time. You waiting for somebody to break open for a big play. No, man, get rid of the ball. Play smart football. Quit throwing the screen when you know it's covered. Throw it in the dirt, man. Come on, that's what smart quarterbacks do. And don't get me wrong. Like I said, we all know who we said who Tannehill was when we first got him. We knew. He's not an elite quarterback, never has been. You can win with him, but you got to have all the pieces around him. He cannot make anybody better. He doesn't do that. He's just a cog in the machine. He's Trent Dilfer part 2 for the Titans. Basically what it is. Kerry Collins, same thing. He's just not that type of quarterback. So, and that's fine. I got no problem with that. But you got to make sure those who are around him know what to do. And when you got a running game like that, that offensive coordinator should be calling running plays. I'm sorry. Dante Foreman was just running that field. Loved it. I mean, the way he fought for that 1 yard on that 4th and 1, you got to give that boy on a bum ankle. You got to give him his props, man. And look, here's the thing about it. Here's how you know how good he played. I'm going to just say it like this. The 4th and 1, he's out with the hurt ankle. Jim Nance says, you got this 4th and 1 and your best running back is out with a hurt ankle. And then turn around, oh no, he's in. And the crowd just noticed it, man. And they was like, oh Lord, because they knew. So, I'm just saying, man, it's just really, Vrabel could fire the OC if he's got somebody on there who can call plays. That's all I'm saying. He could fire him if he's got somebody he's got enough confidence in to call plays. He can't do it though. Let's just make sure we're clear on that. Not him. He's not an OC. He's not a coordinator. He's a head coach. And he's going to have to cut first. I mean, if you want to wake people up from fumbling the ball, that's who you cut. And I guarantee you the fumbles will stop.
They got to do something.
They got to do something. Because right now, you lose Thursday, the Colts are going to win. I'm here to tell you, the Colts ain't getting ready to lose another game. Their defense is playing too good. And Frank Wright got smart the other night because you saw once your boy made this turnover and everything, he never got to throw the ball again. No. They ran the ball. So, I mean, stop and think about it. The Colts aren't going to lose anymore. They aren't going to lose anymore. And right now, you can't afford to lose. So you got to beat San Francisco, you got to beat Miami, and you got to beat Houston. And Miami's playing lights out. They came back and beat the Jets when we couldn't do it. So if you're going to make a change, now's the time. But he probably won't make a change till after San Francisco if he does it all.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, so I'm going to wrap up the defense with Zach Cunningham because Zach Cunningham played pretty good today considering, his him coming on the bye week. He blitzed a few times, made some hits in the backfield. And so special teams wise, I thought everybody played well. Bullock rebounded, had a good, some good field goals today. Chester Rogers, we have a punt returner, a kick. I thought he might have maybe could have returned a couple of those kickouts today.
He thought he was Pac-Man Jones on that one when he didn't call a fair catch because Pac-Man been the only one I know that got away without fair catching, and he got lit up for that one. And I will say, I think that punt coverage was good, but I think Racy McGrath, he's got to contain a little bit more. There's a few times where he was great as a gunner, but overran and allowed them to get a few yards when they shouldn't have got none.
Right, exactly. And if you look at the AFC South standings, and Grover just mentioned it, the Titans have a 1-game lead over the Colts, and the Colts, I mean, what can you say? So if you really look at the Colts, they're really built like the Titans are. They run the ball, they play good defense, and they don't let the quarterback get them beat because Carson Wentz is hot trash.
To throw you back in the game.
Yeah, he's gonna lose the game for you. So do not let him throw the football. To your point, Grover, after he threw that pick, they was like, no more of that, and they kept running the football. And so as you look at the AFC playoff standings as it is right now, I guess the Ravens are still losing if they lost the game. Okay, so they were 4. They probably would drop because the Colts won. And so now you're looking at KC at 1, the Pats 2, Titans 3, Colts 4, potentially.
No,
they still 5? They're 5 right now. Yeah.
4 would be, I don't know if Cincinnati has the tiebreaker.
It'll be the North guy. That's right.
Yeah,
it'll be the North.
Yeah.
Chargers at 6, Bills 7, Browns 8, Bengals 9, and Steelers at 11. And so A lot still to happen here in the next few weeks. You got so slate of games. You got the 49ers coming here on Thursday night. Tough football team. They win today 31-13, I believe was the final score.
Running the ball well.
You got a defense. You got Debo playing running back, receiver, wherever they need him. He's scoring everywhere. You got Bosa. You got those guys finally healthy on defense. Kittles is back. And Jimmy G's not making any mistakes. It's going to be a tough football game. It's here. It's a short week. You hope that A.J. Brown can come back. You know, Julio probably won't play. We probably won't see him again until maybe the end of the season, if that. That hamstring is this, you just can't play with that. I mean, once it's hurt, and it doesn't get better unless you rest it. And so hopefully Golden Tate gets in some kind of game shape or whatever the issue may be with him. They say it's conditioning, but we'll see. Because there's going to be somebody else out there that could be a reliable target for Tannehill, because right now we don't have anybody outside of A.J. Brown. Well, we don't know because Julio don't even get the ball. So
right.
and Michael Pruitt is not even getting any balls thrown his way. He's not even in there on passing situations. So it's just, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. You just don't. It's really right now offensively, they are seriously in a state of flux. It's like they really don't know what to do. I mean, granted, the injuries have been tremendous. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but so is everybody else's. Everybody else has had a lot of injuries. So come on. You have got to do something more than what you're doing. And right now, what you've been doing, the status quo ain't working. So Vrabel's going to, he'll go back and look at the tape tomorrow. If he hadn't already looked at it tonight, they're going to dissect it. They're going to break it down. But the bottom line is, Tuesday, there should be some major changes, because you've been going all season like this and they can't work. I mean, the good thing about the Titans is that they're really a game and a half in front of the Colts, because even if they ended up tied, the Titans
they got the division. That's right.
Yeah, they got the tiebreaker. So, but you got to start winning, man. This is just ridiculous. You can't lose to the 49ers then hope you beat Miami and Houston. You just can't do that.
You can't.
You can't really. You don't really want to take one more loss. You really don't.
So they hadn't had any changes yet, and so what are we going to expect to have changes now? Because here we are again talking about this same issue with this offense, and so week to week, even against Jacksonville last week.
Yep.
I mean,
you can't
anemic.
Score.
Right. You couldn't score.
You can't score.
You had 4 picks. Your defense gets you 4 turnovers.
And you only got 3
points. You only got 3 points. And so
think about it. It's the exact same against Jacksonville.
So we might as well go ahead and accept the fact Vrabel's not built to make any changes. And I don't even think you'll see none in the offseason, because the caveat's going to be this. Let's just think. Last year, everybody wanted Shane Bowen fired. And what they keep saying, he ain't got the players. Now that we see he got some players, I mean, the scheme probably still the same. I know that's their scheme word, but the players are playing. So I can see Vrabel already saying, offense ain't had the players, but yet he ain't going to change him up. And I think that's going to be Vrabel's downfall. I've said it before that I think him being too loyal to his guys is going to be what holds him back from being an amazing coach.
But is Downing, is he a Vrabel guy? They brought him in Minnesota.
I say one of his guys, he promoted him within. Yeah, he hired him and he promoted him within.
Okay,
so
I got you.
Promote him like that. I think that's going to be his downfall, because any other coach would do something different. I like what you said, Ed. Let the wide more call plays and whatnot. Yeah. You got to have somebody on the offensive staff that just has a feel to the flow of the game, as opposed to just opening up the playbook, picking play 12, and we're just going to run play 12 regardless if it calls for it or not. And that's what I think we're seeing with Todd Downing.
And what's funny is, I remember early on in the season when we was doing the show, and somebody mentioned, I think it was a comment or two, Downing was the one calling the plays in the red zone for Arthur Smith. The red zone offense was so good. Well, where is that at?
Where is that at?
Where was that at? Y'all remember that.
I do remember that.
I remember somebody saying that, but no.
So where is the red zone offense?
That was all bogus. That was all bogus. Listen again. bottom line is, in all honesty, again, last year we talked about Shane Bourne, and a lot of people were saying get rid of Shane Bourne. We all knew what the problem was last year.
Yeah, it was Vrabel in the mix.
It was Vrabel.
Yeah, Vrabel.
So let's clear that one up. The bottom line with this is that, yeah, he promoted from within. What he has to realize is like, okay, is it worth my pride to keep him on and keep this anemic offense going, hoping we get Derrick Henry back and then all of a sudden it picks up? Or do I need to make a change and swallow my pride, said I made a wrong move and make a change? Now, most coaches, I'm going to be honest, they're not doing anything.
Nope.
Because Vrabel is always, what he's going to point out is the 4 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to point that out.
Yeah, Ty Downing didn't turn the ball over.
He's going to always point that.
He's going to really point that out because, again, they rushed for 200 yards. So he's going to say, oh, we ran the ball for 200 yards, but we have turnovers.
That's all. But you can't have 4 turnovers. Right. But the bottom line is, like I said, it's one or two things are going to happen. One of two. And he's either going to, and really this is what he needs to do. One, he can do easily. The other one, he had to swallow his pride to do. You change OC. That's a swallow the pride thing. One thing you need to do, you're going to have to cut one of those players. It's the same thing that happened. I'm just being honest with you. It's the same thing that happened when he first got here. And remember what the problem was?
Drops.
Rashad Matthews. Rashad Matthews.
See ya. Bye. So what? He didn't cut Rashad Matthews. He cut the other guy who dropped a touchdown against Buffalo.
Oh yeah. He did. That's right.
And but the bottom line was, once he cut him, where did the drops go?
Yeah, we stopped seeing them.
You stopped seeing them.
Yeah. He's
going to have to cut a player about those drops. And cutting Racing McGrath is not it.
No, he has no business out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
not in that position. You're right.
To cut first, man.
He's only playing because of the depth right now. First is the guy. First is the guy, man.
First is the guy because you made First of your tight end 1.
You made him your tight end 1.
And what has he done this season? Look at it. Look up his stats and see what he's done this season. He's had some games where he hadn't even had a target.
I mean, come on. I'm gonna get to some of these comments. Let's see. Ed McKinney says, "Why is Tannehill throwing the ball 30+ times?" Hey man, we said it before. We'll say it again. If you got him throwing the ball 30+ times, it's a
recipe
L.
for losing.
It's a L. Let's see. Rob Vick says, "Isn't Deontay Foreman averaging dang near 5 yards a carry?" He did.
Yep.
4.9. Yes. You're right, sir. You were right on it. Appreciate that. Deion says Vrabel will point out the turnovers in public, but he has to address the anemic offense behind closed doors. I would hope so, Deion. I would hope so. I would hope he would address it with Downing, because I mean it's everybody can see the problem. Look, let me say this. And I loved playing college football, I did. But when we had a good defense and our offense wasn't really doing that well, man, I'm telling you, it gets you so frustrated and so heated real quick, because you out there, you playing, and the defense knows when they balling. They know when they balling. And when they balling like they were balling today, and your offense can't support you and put no points on the board, man, that makes for a long plane ride back to Tennessee.
That's a long flight home, man.
Well, I will tell you this. I know one thing. Big Jeff called it out in his comments. You can't have 4 turnovers in a game.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he just flat out saying
that's the scapegoat, right? I mean, that's what's going to happen. I'm not disagreeing at all. Don't get me wrong, because they get you beat.
What I'm saying is, I'm agreeing with your statement about the defense getting frustrated.
Oh yeah.
Because when your defensive leader, Big Jeff, gets in the press conference and it's like, we just can't have 4 turnovers.
That's right.
So he's going in there and he's going to be going off on somebody, because Jeff wants to win, and he knows they got the defense to win it with. He said, we can't keep doing this.
Right.
And somebody's going to make a change.
Rodney, I'm with you, man. And I'm glad you brought it up. Carolina cut their OC.
Sure did.
I'm just saying. So,
I mean, but see, that's what I'm saying. You got to do something.
Well,
you got to do something. You got to address it.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, Vrabel's got to address it. He might have to do both.
Yeah. He
at least needs to do one.
You're right,
and that's
Nathan.
all I'm saying.
Nathan, you are right. It is 13 turnovers in the last 4 games. It's just crazy. Ed McKinney says, "Why are they not targeting Michael Pruitt?" Man, we talked about that. He don't. I don't know why he's not playing. He's not even the only time he's in the game. They run the football, and you see it.
Yeah, he's running. He's in
You
the
see
block.
it. You see it.
They're not using them in the seam routes or nothing.
Even if you look, and so just one more beat on the offensive play calling. If you look at that not fourth down, no, it was on the interception that Tannehill threw where the ball was batted. If you look at that route, you had 3 guys within 2 yards of each other. They had on white jerseys. So what kind of routes are they running? You know what I mean? What kind of routes? They running some levels routes is what you call it, but everybody's on the same level.
Same level, yeah.
Right. So I'm like, but anyway,
let's be honest about it. It's just like we said last year. You know, we dogged on the defense all last year. Every time we talked about a game, it was on the defense. This year it's just the opposite. And the bottom line is we're frustrated as fans simply because we know we got enough talent on this team to win ball games, to score more than 13 points a game. We got enough talent on this team to score more than 13 points a game, and it's not happening. And it's a litany of problems. Turnovers, yeah, that's number one. We're in the negative on turnovers, and you can't win Super Bowls turning the ball over that much. But the bottom line is you got an anemic offense, and you just can't, if you can't score any points with a good defense, you're just not going to win, especially when your defense isn't really scoring.
Right. So you got another team coming in here. It's got a lot on the line. San Francisco 8-6, still in the hunt, especially with Arizona going down today to the Detroit Lions. They dropping to 10-4. So San Francisco's on 2 games back, 1 game back of the Rams. And so, man, a lot on the line coming down in these last 4 weeks of the season. It's going to be pretty interesting to see if Verbal Verbal's going to earn his money in these last 4 weeks. He's going to have to come and make some tough decisions. I mean, I say tough. Be tough for him, but they to me a no-brainer. You've got to do something with your offense. You got to do something with your OC. You know, and honestly, the offensive line didn't play that bad. We knew Pittsburgh had a good pass rush with Hayward and Watt coming on the edge, but I thought they held up pretty good considering. I mean, you know, they were going to get to him. We knew that because he liked to hold the ball just a little bit too long. But with that running game, like you mentioned several times on the show, we should have kept them at bay with the run game as much as we could. But anywho, so San Francisco comes in, fellas, and it just keeps on getting tougher. Thursday night game. So if you're able to go, man, please go check that out. It should be a good atmosphere. NFL Network, and it's going to be very, very important for the Titans to get a win in this game. You know, you hate to say it after they started 8-2. And, you know, was sitting at 9-4 that we're in a must win now. And because that's what it is. It's a must win because the Colts are right there nipping at our heels. And any slip up with them, and they could potentially, you know, unseat us. The only thing that will help us is the tiebreaker. But, you know, right now, you still got to play Houston, right? And you still got to play Miami. So I don't know who's going to show up.
You've got to win. You got to have a combination of 2 in the last 3 games.
You got to have a combination of 2, right?
And one of our wins to clinch the division still.
And the Colts got the Cardinals next week.
Yeah.
This week on Christmas. It's a Christmas day.
Cardinals got problems because if you stop and think about it, Kyler Murray's main cog
is hurt. It's gone.
Yeah, D Hop is out. So
and that hurts their offense. Even though James Conner is playing lights out, that hurts their offense.
So again, they go, man, that sounds like a broken record. So that goes along with why is your offense predicated around one person? And your offensive coordinator, your head coach can't scheme up a game plan with Kingsbury is supposed to be this offensive genius, right?
He's a wizard.
Downing's supposed to be a guy that's
a spread guy, though.
And Downing's supposed to be a guy that had David Carr playing Pro Bowl level, right? But yet and still, you got your big dog, your alpha dog go down and get hurt and be out for some weeks, and you can't even muster up an offense to compete in this football league with a top defense that's tops in the, you know, one of the top 5 in rushing, and Quiet is kept
2
top 5, Sue, same thing. Okay, but and then passing wise, Quiet is kept. The secondary is getting better each week, and so. I don't know. I digress.
I'm just saying that. Here's the thing I like about, I mean, they brought up the stat. I hadn't even thought about it, but it makes sense. They've only allowed 100-yard rusher all season.
That's right. That's exactly right. James Robinson.
That was James Robinson.
That's right.
And they held Jacksonville to 8 yards rushing last week. I mean, you stop and think about that. They held Pittsburgh, the vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers now, 35 yards rushing. And held them to 19 points with 4 turnovers.
You got a running back that's probably going to be the rookie of the year, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, in the conversation.
So this is a conversation. I mean, but you stop and think about that, man. I mean, this is how good that defense is playing, man. And they've had their share of injuries. Let's be real about it. They've had their share.
Mm-hmm.
They've had their David Long's been out. This is what, 6 games?
6 weeks. He's missed 6 weeks.
He's been out. Rashad Evans has been out. Jayon Brown has been out. You know, Bud Dupree has been out. Come on now. I mean, T.R. Pop-Tart is out. You know, the secondary has had injuries, and yet and still you got a defense that's playing great football. You know,
goes back to scheming. Putting your coach in the right position. Putting your players in the right position.
What you saw from last year is that Shane Bowen learned some lessons.
He did. He learned a lot of stuff.
And he calls a better game. And to your point, what he did earlier today when he was letting people, he was lining up 7-8 yards off the line of scrimmage. You saw when it came down to crunch time.
Stop pressing.
He stopped doing it.
He started pressing. He started pressing. And all of a sudden you see they can't move the ball. So, you know, I'm looking at this team right now. If like I said, if Vrabel could do something with this offense and he's going to make a drastic move in order to get it going. And if he does that, because Tony Romo brought up a good point. You're looking at the Titans team. If they can make it to the playoffs, you're not going to see the same team you saw in the regular season because they should be relatively healthy.
Well, you don't know about Julio at this point.
Julio's not. Here's the bottom line: Julio's not going to be playing. But you're talking about you can bring in Golden Tate. That gives you a second target to somebody, and I believe that's the only reason why they're keeping him on the practice squad because they're looking at it. If we bring him in, if Julio's out, that still gives you a second target that people have got to take into account. That's the only thing I'm looking at because I don't expect Julio to be playing anymore this season. To be honest with you, I really don't.
Not after
today. If he does, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, if he plays Thursday, I'd be really shocked.
He won't play Thursday. I'm telling you that now. AJ will play Thursday, but he won't.
Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Thank you for the comments and questions. I'm going to get a few more in before we sign off. I know Ed McKinnon's got something they're rolling in. He says our thoughts on Zach Canahan. I thought he played solid today. Ed thought he played real good. He made some good tackles.
You know he played good because you didn't hear his name. He made plays, but you didn't hear his name called on something that got beat.
And he was around the football a lot.
He was around the football.
He was in the backfield, and I think he's just going to add some good. I was going to say depth, but he's actually going to be probably starting here. I wouldn't be surprised if he started again next week.
Started today, man.
Right, he started today. Exactly.
Started today.
So what does that tell you? Right, a guy that's only been here for a week and a half or so.
That tells you that we won't be seeing Jayon Brown next season.
Exactly.
That's what that tells.
Or Rashad Evans either. So
you may not. You may not.
But Deion says call Delaney Walker. You know, we'll see. We'll see. At this point, he'll be better than what we got right now. Said that way because we don't play Michael Pruitt.
I think he will at least give you the threat down the middle of the field because we don't have that at all with the tight ends right now.
Well, if he's in any kind of shape whatsoever, if nothing else, he's going to give you better blocking.
That too.
Oh yeah.
Man. He's going to give you better blocking.
Yeah. And Ed says he hates to say it, but Julio is his signing hurt us big time. I mean, you can't argue that the man hadn't done anything since he's been here, but been hurt.
No, you know, and bless his heart. I mean, it was a second chance for him really to get going, and he just simply cannot stay healthy. But again, when they signed him, we knew that. We knew that it was going to be risky if he was going to be able to stay because he really hadn't stayed healthy since that first year after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's been hurt ever since.
Deion says he thinks they're prepping Golden Tate for the playoffs. Deion, I'm going to hate to tell you this, bro, but there might not be no playoffs who can't get the offense together. I'm just saying.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
You can't score 21 points, man.
I'm just saying.
You can't score any more than 13.
Dang it. Last year we were saying if the defense would give up 21 points. Now we're saying if the offense could score 20.
Just scored 3 touchdowns. Just 3.
We used to always say if the offense can score 21 to 28 points and your defense can hold people, you can win a lot of football games. We're running. We're going to lead the league in time of possession and not make the playoff.
How does that even work? But anyway,
I'm just saying.
Thank y'all again for joining us tonight for another show. Check us out, man. We'll put something out about next week's show because of the game being on Thursday night. We'll just be looking out for that info and stay with us, man. We still here, tighten up. We ain't going nowhere.
Tighten up. Good
and bad, we still here, man. We still gonna stay two-tone blue and bring you the good stuff, man. So this is halftime with Justice Eddie on there, G with J. Lou, man. Thank y'all again for joining us. Dion, I'm sorry, man, if I hurt your feelings, bro. I'm sorry. I'm gonna come pat you on the back next time, man. But we are out of here, man. Hey, check us next week. Look out for the information, and we'll be back with you. Peace.
Peace.